I was out pressure washing the patio. I'm taking a break. Yes. My wife has a big list of honeydew. Hi, you can shut. Sorry, honey, I'll shut the door. I know. No, the kitten's in here with me. The kitten wants to be on the call today. The cat wants to know about digital assets. Crypto kitty. Oh, don't take the cat. Whatever. Whatever. Okay, fine. Take the cat. What, gentlemen? How are you? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry you lost your muse, man.
Awesome. Is that your lock?
That's
what
mine.
Was that?
That's my new toy.
What is it?
Lock picks.
Oh, jeez.
Playing with it.
All right. What do you like planning on picking with that thing? What are you picking?
I bought this for 25 shekels. This one's a bit more difficult.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's like your hobby. It's your hobby. Hey, I got to ask you really quick because I'm a stupid American, and I hear these things. You guys are now using the vaccine passports in Israel. Is this true? You have one? I saw BB was posting his.
Yeah.
You have the green.
I'll show it
green.
to you. Yeah, I got it. It was on my phone. Hold on.
Because this program that you guys are using now seems to be the program that I'm hearing that America looks like they might be copying and using.
This could be. I actually don't know.
Oh, I do. I read the article. Unless it was a big FUD piece. I don't know. It could be, but
also could be.
But they did have a picture of BB, and he had his mask, and he's holding up his phone, like, "See, I got the passport." And yeah, that's exactly
QR code. It says that. No, there's a little QR.
Oh wait, so don't send him Bitcoin to that address, people. Do not send.
This is not a Bitcoin address.
Don't do it. This is how my theory comes into play when people do things like that. My actuarial theory that as the supply, as we move forward in time, the supply of Bitcoin will just get smaller and smaller because people will send Bitcoin to a QR code like that by accident, and for that kid who
can send Bitcoin to it, like the wallet should tell you that it's not a QR, it's not a valid address, right?
Oh yeah. I'm just saying there's people that can use the wrong QR codes, not in that exact example because they're probably not compatible, but people like that kid lost like $1.7 million worth of Bitcoin because of like a fraudulent Trezor app again or something like that.
Wow, that hurts.
But I don't, the bad thing is he lost his funds. The good thing is they're not lost forever. That's the other thing people seem to not talk about.
They're not lost out of the supply.
Yeah, exactly. They're not.
Oh no, that would be good. I would prefer if they were lost out of the supply because that
makes ours more valuable.
And people do that all the time. Again, there's that guy that's still asking the one city he'll give them a cut if they'll dig through the dump to find his old hard drive. And I don't think that's going to happen. So those ones are gone. Those are gone forever. And as that supply gets smaller and smaller, like I just looked up today. I posted on Twitter, some guy showed a picture of all the liquid Bitcoin on all the, I think it was like the top 30 exchanges, and it came to less than 1.5 million Bitcoin right now. So when that 1.5 plus million Bitcoin's gone in liquid supply, then because again, people don't realize that there's good. I used to say this in my private group. There's going to be a point in time where the hodlers start to outweigh the speculators and the traders. And as the miners, as we can see through some of Glassnode's information, they're starting to hold a lot more. So now you have this huge portion of the Bitcoin community who is just sitting on their corn. And then all of a sudden, the last 1.5 million Bitcoin is gone from exchanges. We could start to see the crazy volatility we saw in 2020. We could see it here with, much more whipsaw-like days where we could see, $10,000 potentially swings.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those. I haven't seen a $10,000 swing since 2017.
Do you expect anything big with the Coinbase IPO this week on Wednesday? Do we think that there might be some movement? Is that positive news in price movement, or does it even matter?
I think it'll be positive for Coinbase and their exexecutives.
and Melton Demours and lots of folks who are going to be made millionaires and billionaires that day.
Yes, there will be a few billionaires made.
I think the NASDAQ will be very happy. I think we will see some movement in the markets on both sides of the fence, in the crypto and in the traditional markets. I think the news is just going to keep it's just going to get crazier and crazier. Like the news today I shared, Mark Cuban is having the players sit down with their laptops and learn how to make NFTs. But let's be clear, we're in full on crazy mode. Like I never thought I would hear that headline in my entire life. You can't make this stuff up. And literally there's a picture of them sitting in the dressing, in their locker room. On their computers making NFTs. So, I mean, we're in full on crypto mania globally. And I think it's just going to get crazier and crazier. Like I said, with this liquidity crisis, not only with Bitcoin and also with Ethereum, I think we're just starting this bull market and this new decade of commodities.
We might, though, at some point kind of need to make a separation between what's happening in, with the NFTs and let's say with, I don't know, decentralized finance and then, Bitcoin and everything. And it was hypothesized certainly in the beginning that crypto is going to kind of branch out into different niches where, an expert in one might know absolutely nothing about the other. And I think that we're actually starting to see that now. Is a big part of why, we've chosen the people that we've chosen for quantum economics, right? That each person kind of has their niche of understanding and their market that they're an expert in. So, NFTs, I mean, really took off, and we saw that have a very large spillover onto the rest of the market, right? With, Ethereum and even Chili's was able to catch, a very good part of that NFT wave. The question is, right, I mean, now that, let's say more and more people are learning how to mint NFTs and, there are certainly going to be probably, I don't know, a lot more of them out there, right? And then, the laws of supply and demand would mean that, I don't know, because I followed the link that you posted on the QE Twitter page, and it showed the NFT, and I was just like, it's $350, right? That was the highest bid at the moment, right? Anything about it seems like such a turning point in history that ought to be worth a bit more than $350. So the question is the market saturated as it is right now? And maybe that one is going to go for hundreds of thousands at the end of the day. We were just early. I have no idea, but it just, question is, at what point, is the market saturated, and are we reaching that right now? The entire bond market, I mean, in my mind, probably shouldn't exist by this time, or maybe within the next 5 or 10 years, when people realize that they're not really getting anything back from lending the government's money. And now we think that not only have people forgotten how to price traditional assets, but now we've got all of these new type of assets that we've never seen before, and we start testing the limits of programmable money. Things are going to get crazy.
Definitely.
Seems that a lot of the folks who I admire, but we would put them in the Bitcoin maxi camp. They are rather down on NFTs. I know for Max Kaiser down on NFTs, American HODL down on NFTs. But I think what we have talked about, though, that there is practicality in there.
I'd like to hear the arguments. If you want to,
because they're anti-ETH. That's
that's why. Yeah, they're anti-ETH is pretty much what. Yeah. So I mean, Kaiser's tweets have been very.
Yeah, I know. I agree. You have to convince me. But that's their poor logic. But I guess we get the bigger picture here, that like
with the implications of real estate, et cetera, aside, take the collectibles out of it. Okay. Let's not talk about collectibles because that could be the Beanie Baby, whatever. But when we look at these real life applications of NFTs that you've already highlighted, that Matty's spoken about at length, that's really exciting. And that's where I think technology and change and finance is going to merge.
Yeah, again, I always point out philanthropy or insurance, right? Where there's still people in New Jersey, I'm from Pennsylvania. A lot of my childhood spent at the Jersey Shore. So there's still people still haven't received funds for Hurricane Sandy, right? Where they could have a policy on the blockchain, a hurricane policy on the blockchain. You upload your pictures to the blockchain. They get approved within minutes, not months or years later. And, the money is being transferred into your wallet within a day or two. These have huge implications on what can be done on the ground floor, on the ground level. Like, think of philanthropy. There's many times during the tsunami, I tried to send food and I called up the Red Cross to try and send food. They're like, nah, we just take money. And it's like, surprise. So, these kind of things, getting actual funds into people's hands immediately after these kinds of, natural disasters, change is a game changer. And then you take these things and you start to apply these things into not just these little microcosms of ecosystems, and you expand them out into real world situations, applications, like I said, with the insurance policies, et cetera. The applications are limitless. And then that's what people are starting to realize. That's why Mark Cuban has his team learn how to build NFTs. Not just to show them, you can make this stupid little, trinket and make some money off it, but that he's showing them, some of those guys, might not have a career in a couple of years because you break your knee or you shatter your ankle. And next thing you know, they're working on a team for me, consulting, on how to, teach his company, the insurance company, on how to utilize their consensus, mechanism to deliver, real-time capital to people in the field that need it.
How many times have we seen sports players turn into, major investors and things like that? I think it happens quite often where, they run into some money and having skill sets, right? That are, more than just being able to throw a ball around, will certainly help them in that transition.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's the other thing, is that he's showing them how to use, QR codes. He's showing them what a wallet looks like. He's showing them how to do gas fees. He's showing them how to use Ethereum. And again, this is, setting those people above hundreds, billions of people around the globe that don't even know what this stuff is. So, I mean,
how much net worth is in that room?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
You're talking like hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, and those people are now going to show that
more than $322, right? I hope so.
But I'm saying they're going to show that to their families and their friends, and then this is you want to talk about network effect? We're about to see it play out and again, like I said, this is going to be more like a chain reaction, than a domino effect. It's going to be atomic, kind of.
Reading right now, Bitcoin December futures reached 73,500. This on Cointelegraph as of this
again.
morning.
I don't know what happened when $85 billion worth of more Bitcoin gets bought.
Did Elon Musk tweet today? Because Doge is up like 20%.
He did not.
Yeah, I don't. What happened there? It was just another day, I guess.
I don't know. I was just happy. I was like, yes. And Binance coin's going nuts again. It just keeps going up and up. And you know why? I figured out the Binance coin. They're advertising everywhere, globally. I saw billboards in I think it was Hong Kong, billboards over here, billboards over there. They are advertising everywhere.
So,
gosh, I remember when that launched.
Binance is going to continue seeing their volumes rise. I don't know about the price of the coin. I think that that very well could have been inflated and we do a correction, or it might 10x from here. Obviously, I have no idea, but their focus and their key focus is on fiat to crypto, and they do it very well. They are the only exchange in the world that can take Israeli credit cards. I know this for a fact.
Wow.
And yeah, and that's true about many countries around the world.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then the fact that they've got such a large, a wide selection that, anybody who's trading crypto, casually doesn't really need to move off of Binance. So not only are they getting them first, they're getting them longer. And as far as trading platforms go in this environment where people are seeking out alternative investments, I feel like they have only room to grow as a platform.
Are you familiar? You guys are familiar with Masa, the Vision Fund, right? Masa, the Japanese billionaire investor, got together the what was it? The Vision Fund.
Masayoshi or something like that.
Yeah, Masayoshi, that dude, right? Masayoshi, the guy, he's the dude that gave Adam Newman pumped in like how many billions of dollars into WeWork?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
He got this. He created the world's largest hedge fund. Masa, yeah, it was like 100 billion. Yeah, SoftBank, exactly. This dude, yeah. And so they pumped in all this money into WeWork.
He looks like a party animal. I don't know.
I want to know. I want to know.
Maybe in the editing you could put a picture of him, but he just looked like I would really want to go to Japan and party with that guy.
I want to know if this guy's getting in the blockchain. He's got to be, because he's all about the future and AI and all that stuff. That's what the Vision Fund was created.
Yeah.
Where's he putting his money, Jerry?
Well, I mean, I don't know the guy personally, but SoftBank.
You don't? I thought you said you did. You were hanging out with him.
I was in Tokyo last night. We were doing, shots of sake.
Sake bomb.
But SoftBank, yeah, they have their hands in crypto. Everyone's getting their hands into crypto because, again, when technology starts to have this kind of global adoption, there's nothing you can do. People want to say their crypto's better than ETH or their crypto's better than Bitcoin. And I always tell people it's very simple. Adoption wins in technology.
So the Vision Fund is $100 billion.
100 billion, that's what it was.
They're now raising a second Vision Fund of 108 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, I
how do we get him to support
a fair bit of that?
We
got to get him on a
him.
podcast, man.
We got to get him involved with QE. Like because he's involved, he's putting money out there. How do we get Masa? Yes, how do we get Masa on the team? That's what that's my over the weekend. I was thinking this.
Yeah, maybe he has his Twitter account. No.
But yeah, I mean, globally, we can see everyone from the Japanese banks, the Swiss banks. I mean, the African banks now are starting to pay attention. The U.S. banks.
He does have a verified Twitter account.
Does he really? Oh my God, hit him up.
He does.
Oh,
let's get him on.
Okay, we got to start tagging him in tweets.
I've never seen you so happy for Twitter before.
It's Masa-san.
Masa-san. Dude, that guy is a straight up baller.
Start tagging him in everything, man.
That guy is a straight up baller. And dude, when he pulled when I was doing my research about this guy and how he pulled the funds together for the first round, I'm like, that's like the biggest ever, like the biggest fund ever put together in the history of those kinds of deals.
Wow.
And I'm just an idiot. And I'm finding this stuff out.
I would have that. Yeah, I would want to see that in writing and from an official publication before verifying.
Okay, Charles.
Statistic. Thank you.
Hey, that's how you do it, though. You know, that's one of the big problems we had over the last 10 years. People just believe anything they see on the webs, and it's when you do some research or you ever have a research class in high school or college, there's always an end of the paper where you have to have all footnotes. Your reference and footnotes, and
he's fucking active, man.
And he's on, and he plays on crypto Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we're so tagging him now.
Dun, 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 dun.
Do we get consumer price index numbers this week? Is that what's coming out this week as well? Like Tuesday or something? Is that happening?
I haven't even checked, but I'm guessing you have if you're asking about it.
I don't know. I heard it somewhere.
CPI numbers.
Yeah, I think that's coming out this week. Tuesday?
I'm gonna say yes because
I have my financial day calendar here.
CPI Tuesday.
Yeah.
CPI and core CPI.
And then Wednesday we got the Coinbase IPO. So
analysts are expecting CPI of 0.5% month over month, and core CPI of 0.2% month over month. So this is exactly what I was writing about on Friday in Friday's newsletter, is the financial freaking sorcerers, warlocks, or whatever you want to call them.
The numbers guy.
They are hiding inflation. They are quite literally hiding it.
Many years.
Right? There's core CPI is 0.2%, but the real CPI is 0.5%. So meaning food and energy prices
going
are
up.
going up. And
Correct.
the Fed is only focused on everything except for food and energy suddenly.
And they do it with the unemployment numbers too, because there's a section of those unemployment numbers that is just recorded for a certain amount of time, and then after that time frame, people get lost out of the system, and guess what? They don't even get counted anymore. So I mean, this is why you can't trust lots of these metrics that come from these people, because again, they want to look at just this section of numbers. Okay, well, yeah, if you look at just those section of numbers, everything looks hunky-dory. Now if you look at the real section of numbers,
very
like
clever
I said,
reporting.
And like I stated last time we talked, my was 2018 or 19, my rent went up 17 to 20%. My internet bill went up 3 times in 1 year. So don't tell me there's no such thing of inflation when I'm seeing it in front of my face. I just went to the music store yesterday. I bought a pack of strings, mandolin strings, which usually cost me, even in a music store, cost me $7 to $10, cost me $15.
Yeah, it's going up everywhere. Gas here, where we have to go get gas. We see it there. We see it at the grocery store. Milk, and eggs, produce.
The one thing that has managed to escape is technology, but that's going to go up too now because of the chip shortage.
That is correct.
There is a people don't realize it, but microprocessors, fucking computer chips.
Something to add into that, I think
they're not keeping up with demand.
I think, Matty, I'm sorry to cut you up, but on that whole topic of the chips, we're already seeing car manufacturers, auto dealers are having to lay people off because of the chip shortage, so they're not able to build these cars. So I think that this is a deeper, bigger issue that people aren't really paying attention to.
Cars, like car manufacturing, really rely on microchips, and couldn't they make cars without microchips?
They did.
I mean, I don't.
They used to. They don't anymore. But yeah, we're
but Samsung also delayed a release of their phones, right?
Shutting down the factories too. You talk about Foxconn possibly, not tomorrow, but in a year, we have to close for a few months because we have no chips. I don't believe that this chip shortage will last more than a year. I mean, Intel has already made moves to build new factories. Well, so has Taiwan Semiconductor. A lot of them have, but when are they going to come online? That's the question.
No, it doesn't take more than a few months.
Crypto miner Riot Blockchain bought Whinstone for 651 million. Is that what it was? 651 million. I think this is the first North American company to really, they're making a presence for mining in the largest in North America. Is this correct, Gerald? Do you know this?
Well, that purchase was I think the largest purchase in North America. I think the day before was the largest purchase, where there was also another mining farm in Eastern Texas that got bought for $500 million. So again, the hash wars continue.
Yes.
We have Peter Thiel.
This concerns me. Yeah.
Why is that?
And not about Peter Thiel, because he doesn't know shit about shit when it comes to Bitcoin, honestly. But no, I'm upset about Peter Thiel because he probably does know shit about shit, and he's just spreading FUD to get some cheaper fucking corn, honestly. But what does concern me that with the hash rates going up, is the impact on the environment, and for the longest time, I've personally stated that we'll figure it out when it becomes a problem. And I think that very likely soon it will be becoming a problem. And, you can wave off, reports here and there, but, and the truth is that we don't know what level is coming from renewable energy, and we don't really know what the impact of Bitcoin on our planet is. You know, that said, I don't think that, you know, Bitcoin is the #1 problem affecting our environment or something like that. And it's also, even within those type of fields, it's very difficult. I was watching a documentary yesterday on Netflix, which basically showed the guy was like, first of all, he was talking about plastic straws. And then he realizes that a much bigger problem is actually fishing nets, which make up about 50% of all of the plastic in the oceans. And then he realized that, you know, and then he went to like to Japan, where they were hoarding, you know, herding the dolphins into a cove and murdering them off. And he goes, but if you think about it, the fishing industry kills many, many, many more dolphins and whales every day than any other source on the planet. So you don't always really know what affects what, especially within the global ecosystem that we live in. But I think that it does bear further research. And I know that Jason Dean has done some of this research already. But I think that we really need to think about alternative ways than proof of work, because the end result of that, and even if we're not there today, the end result of that is boiling the oceans, right? I mean, if we talk about, you know, growing another 10 years or 20 years or 30 years, I don't know how long it's going to take, honestly, because I don't have the capacity and haven't done the math. But there will be a point in time eventually when Bitcoin mining becomes a very serious problem for our fragile environment.
But then at that point, doesn't it incentivize the miners, the folks like Jason Dean, et cetera, to go out and start innovation, to start innovating new cost-effective ways to be mining Bitcoin through newer technologies, through renewable resources? So I think that then that kind of goes back to the whole, you know, like, well, there's an issue, there's a problem, let's fix it. Innovation comes along.
Yeah, one of the, in my opinion, is one of the circles of the ecosystem of Bitcoin is to figure out your profit margins if you are a miner, and to get the cheapest, you know, sustainable, renewable forms of energy. I think, you know, if we look at a graph of energy use and technology over the last 100 years, it's going to look almost like a hockey stick. So, I mean, all new technology takes up energy and is energy intensive. Look at all the mobile phones around the world and tablets and et cetera. I mean, those alone, and they're thrown away. I mean, people throw these things away in trash and dumps, like all this e-waste. We don't talk about that. That's a huge problem. You know, let's talk about all the energy it's wasted again on, you know, watching Netflix movies in the highest definition instead of watching in 480 DP, or you know, the people that have, you know, they're business people and they're CEO of their company, and they have 500,000 unread emails on their server. Well, guess what? Those take up space on your server and takes up energy. So all these things, again, I think in the future become incentivized and then tokenized, and then again we use less energy because of these little tricks we've used with the blockchain. And again, is the blockchain going to solve every single problem in the world? No, but my newest expression is blockchain. It's the spackle for the web 2.0.